Now, the rest of the story.
Welcome back to the rest of the story. Well, it's probably not the video everybody was looking for. Nope, tillage is probably a few days off to probably a week yet, but I did go down and get it pulled out. Well, I really overestimated the amount of work the chisel plow needed because, well, last fall we only ran it for, I'd say, about 8, maybe 9 hours total last fall. I went out at 8 o'clock that night, ran till 4 the next morning, and I ran just a little bit the next night before I got froze out. And what I ended up doing, well, I actually caught this on a rock, but it was pretty much the deciding factor of that it was time to quit. But we got one of the shanks here. I already replaced it, but this is pretty common with these. I mean, yes, it's rusted. It's been like that since last fall, but the new one is already on the end here. That's a $200 and some fix that pretty well expect to do every single year because it does happen at least once every year. That Glencoe we had, I do know we used to break shanks. I mean, these are the shanks, these are the shovels. I know we used to break them. I've broken one on that Glencoe chisel plow. We have literally broken one on this every single year since we've had it. And I do believe there was at least 1 year where we did break 2. And at over $200 a piece, it's a fix that you don't really want to do any more than you have to, because that will add up. But I went through, I greased it, and the new shank is on, and I went through and had neglected to put air in the tires. So all I really have to do is that yet. It is on the 7600 because it has the ISO hydraulic ends on it. The plan is to go ahead and pull the 4640 out. Not yet today, not yet tonight. But I'm going to go out and park this out of the way, but it will be ready to go. I'm going to pump the tires up. And then the plan is to put the 4640 on it whenever we can, start doing some field work, turning some dirt. The majority of our fertilizer has been spread, and I think they're just waiting for the wind to really quit blowing. The wind's been pretty nasty here the last day or two, but it is a lighter machine. I've said it time and time again, but it does what we need it to do. We've pulled it with the 4640, we've pulled it with the 7600, we've pulled it with the 8235R. The 8235R obviously pulls it better than the other ones. That's largely because of the weight it has on it. It's a heavier tractor. The tractor doesn't give. That is also the big downside to putting the 82 on the chisel plow, because as many acres as you can cover and how much fun it is and more comfortable it is, I mean, because the cab is a lot more comfortable than the 4640s. It's a bit harder on the chisel plow because when you start get into some harder ground where it starts lugging more and you're starting to pull up some heavier soil or rocks, the 82 doesn't give. And the problem is, if the 82 doesn't give, the chisel plow doesn't give, and then you just go until you break something. And this $200 fix is typically the result of that, or the casualty of that. I should really just go buy another one and have it on the wall, but it's just one of those things I just haven't learned yet. The 4640 does handle it about the best, just because that tractor is putting out 225 horse, give or take, and when you do get into some harder soil, the tires will spin a little bit, it will give a bit, and it gives you a chance to raise the chisel plow up so you don't tear anything up. The 4640 isn't stock. Let's address that really quick. And you know what? Let me go grab one of my lights here. The 4640, and I'll probably say this many more times in videos because, you know, new subscribers, everybody asks similar questions, and to be honest with you, I'm okay with that. It's not that big of a deal. We did turn the 4640 up. behind this little plate right here, there's a little screw, and you use, I believe it's a dime. I think there's a saying for it, but it takes about, well, that's exactly what we used to turn it up. You use a dime. You back the nut off, the set screw, and you can use that dime to turn it up. Now, we gave it about a half of a turn. The reason we gave it a half of a turn is because this tractor has never been touched before. Actually, if memory serves me right, I think we actually cut the wire off of it. I don't honestly remember right now. Maybe we didn't. But we do know when the tractor came, it was running about 180 horse. Or was it two? Oh, now I got myself second guessing myself, but it was dynoed. The tractor was dynoed when they brought it. I think that's what I'm thinking of. It was, that tractor stock is 180 at the PTO. They dynoed it. It came in at 200 horse when Dad bought it. And we turned it up another, technically, a quarter of a turn. Now, the reason I say we turned it a half a turn, but we only turned it a quarter of a turn, is because my friend Ryan has done a couple of these, and he's been around and he works with some people that may have a little bit of experience in turning these pumps up. And everybody has said, and he's actually done this to his own 4630, when you turn these pumps up, you're supposed to give them a quarter of a turn to get them unseated, and it takes another quarter of a turn to really get results. So that's why we went ahead and we used that little dime for, a guesstimate to work off of, and we turned that dime 180 degrees, and in turn we should have turned it up a good 25 horse. The rule of thumb that we learned from John Deere Tech was 25 horse for a quarter turn. Why didn't we turn it up more is because I don't want to push our luck. Could definitely notice it pulling the chisel. We did that 2 years ago now. It might have been spring of last year. It wasn't very long ago, but we did notice on the chisel plow the tractor has a little bit more snort. So as far as turning it up 250, I think, who said that? I think somebody commented that here the other day. They have one that, or their 46 is running a bit hotter than 225. Well, you got to remember, all the gears and the internal machinery of these tractors are only designed to hold or to handle so much power, and none of us are interested in finding out what that upper limit is on that inner mechanics. So another thing, I was asked about rain caps on these tractors. What are my opinions of them? What are they for? Well, first and foremost, rain caps are to keep the rain out. We don't have them on the 82, the 76 for obvious reasons because it is turned. As far as the rain caps go, I really don't have a big explanation on them. They keep the dirt out. You can see there's bird poop all over it. You keep the birds from sitting up on top of the stack and pooping down into your muffler. As far as going to a chrome stack or anything else like that, no, nothing against anybody that does chrome stacks. I have nothing against it. I myself have no interest in doing chrome stack. To be honest with you, I like the looks of a stock machine. I don't need to be the loudest machine in the field. As far as the days of liking loud and loud exhaust, black smoke, that doesn't really impress me. Honestly, it never did. The machines came stock from the factory like that for a reason, and I think they look best that way. I don't like modifying our machinery too much. I went through and put the fenders, the plastic fenders in the 7600 when I bought it. That's the only real extra thing I did to it, other than put a couple extra lights on it. So as far as the rain caps go, it's best just to add this into this video because I don't really have enough to say about it to make a video in itself on it. Excuse me. But As far as rain caps go, they keep the dirt, dust, debris, and everything else out of them. Our 4440, that one actually rattled a little bit just because it was just age was getting to it. Actually, that was more of a characteristic of that tractor. Just listening to when the tractor would idle, you'd hear that rain cap rattle. So I got no preference. I don't mind the chrome stack or the curved stacks on the 76 and the 82, but they definitely serve a purpose on the other tractors. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this chisel plow unhooked and move on to the next project, which is probably gonna go grain cattle. That grain drill really needs to get pulled up into here. You need to get it on the 40/20, grease it, check everything over, and then vacuum it out because we gotta get all that old oat seed out of it. But then go through and test it, do a test run, make sure it's gonna run, because it was skipping a little bit last year, but I think that there's a pretty good chance that that was just from it not running all winter. So we're gonna go do a couple test runs on it and make sure it's gonna work, because we have a bunch of new seating to put in, and that is probably where we're gonna be going with the chisel plow first. We have a bunch of ground down at my place that is corn on corn that I got pretty well frozen out of last fall. But the new seating is probably gonna take priority unless the weather's really gonna cooperate. So it's blue sky and sunny now. Don't let that deceive you. It was raining and snowing this morning and it was 30 degrees. So welcome to Wisconsin. It's what? Spring it's winter at 4:30 in the morning. It's spring at 10. It's summer by 4 o'clock, and then by 6 p.m. it's winter. I think I just read that one the other day. So, depending on where you're at and what you're doing and where in the world you are, take care, take it easy, keep in touch, stay warm, stay dry, stay cold. That's what all I gotta say. Talk to you later. Bye.